I am very grateful for this terrific turnout for this Jamestown Planning Process Public Information Meeting 1. This is the one at the beginning of the process where we talk about existing conditions and possibilities and process and planning area and seek your input. Later, in addition to the regular meetings of the steering committee, there will be another public information meeting where there will be a draft. And that draft will not be final. It'll still be subject to your feedback and improvement. And eventually we'll go to city commissions and boards for comment and come back to the council and be finally adopted, probably as amended. But this is the very beginning of the process and a great time for you to learn about what are the changes that we expect that we're trying to react to here.
First, to talk a little bit about the planning process. You don't need to be able to read this. The main point is that we started back in January of this year and we'll be finishing in January of next year. And up to now, and this is now, we've been in a data collection and analysis phase, and now we're going through a series of meetings with city committees. We're going to be presenting to Plan Commission and City Council, a committee of the whole, in the next few weeks, and of course talking to you all tonight. And we'll then transition into what's going to be the design phase, where we're starting to put ideas on paper about what the redevelopment possibilities should be, offering up some options for consideration by the steering committee, by the general public, by the committees. And we'll winnow down to some final recommendations and seek approval of this plan, which will be adopted by the city hopefully in January of 2017. Just to talk briefly about our efforts to reach out to people and involve various stakeholders, we've got a steering committee that's guiding this process, and these are the members of the steering committee. And if I could ask everyone that's on the steering committee that's here tonight to raise your hands, please. So if you know any of these people, we've got a bunch of people who are familiar with the data, familiar with the project, and can serve as a resource for you tonight to ask questions and to offer comments in addition to what you would leave behind as written comments. That would be very helpful to all of us. Existing land use, we've got commercial along Anton, residential into the neighborhood, and identified as industrial, but the quarry and the concrete plant of Winger Stone. And I should note right off the bat that one of our baseline assumptions for planning the redevelopment of that area is the understanding that the Winger Stone concrete operation is going to continue. So we are moving forward with that assumption, and then we'll look at some of the other lands around that for near-term redevelopment. So this is an excerpt of an exhibit that DOT has had out for a couple of years now, a year and a half, showing the changes. So here is your interchange with Verona Road and McKee. This is KPEC, and as Steve mentioned, what will change about that is that you will no longer be able to cross over from KPEC to Nesbitt or the reverse, or make left turns out. You will still be able to make left turns in, right turns out, but it's the crossing and the left turn out that, when the project is all done, won't be possible anymore. This is the new street. This is the extension of Fitch-Rona. Right now, KPEC just rolls around the corner here and connects to Anton, and Fitch-Rona will be extended through the quarry and will connect up like that. The earthwork for this is going to happen this fall. So DOT is going to start bringing in fill and preparing this. That's going to sit over the winter, and then that's going to be constructed next year. And it's important that this happen before this work can happen, because for staging purposes, you're going to have a need for that traffic to go other places. So that's going to happen soon. Also happening this year, this fall, is the reconstruction of the intersection of Anton and Williamsburg Way into a roundabout. So that also is going to happen this fall. The intersection of Williamsburg with Verona Road is going to be an overpass, and then a full kind of traditional diamond intersection to get on and off of Verona Road. So I wanted to start with that context because that really is the impetus for this project, the fact that that major infrastructure is occurring. So odds and ends here, things that we've looked at that are going to influence our thoughts about redevelopment and development potential. We looked at slopes and things that would limit development, wetlands, slopes, floodplains, etc. We don't have wetlands or floodplains in the study area. In terms of slopes, the main thing we've got is at the west end of the quarry, we've got a big elevation change from up in the quarry to down in the adjoining neighborhood in the city of Madison. So some of that area can't be developed just because it's too steep. What we've got, and I'll give you an opportunity to ask me a couple questions, large group, but again, do want to disperse you. On the table back here, if you didn't already pick one up, there's a comment form. On the table over there is the big map. If you happen to have comments that relate to a specific location and you want to make sure we understand where that location is, you'll find a bunch of these little orange dots on that table with numbers on them. Just put the numbered dot on the map and write the number next to your comment. That'll help us locate exactly where you're talking about if your comment is location specific. If you're able to, leave this with us tonight. There's a sort of a box top sitting on the table there on your way out. You can take this with you. On the back side is contact information for me so that you can get this back to us within the week to get your comments into the mix.